Hello and welcome to the SCP podcast. I'm Joni Cannell, and today I'm hosting a quick session on a workshop that's coming up at our SCP conference in February. The workshop is titled AI in Consulting Psychology, Cautions and Opportunities. There are three presenters. I'll be included in that panel there, but I'd like to introduce my colleagues, Larry Norton and Rodney Lohman. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks.
It's great to have you here. And we're just going to talk real quick today for people who are thinking about what to do at the conference, which workshops to sign up for, why you would want to sign up for this one. We're going to talk a little bit about what it is about and why you should come. So let's start with Larry. You're going to start out by giving the overview of AI. So what are you going to talk about?
Yeah, thank you, Joni, for doing this. The the whole concept of AI is a mystery to a lot of people. Some people see it as sort of magical. It's almost like talking to a human, particularly with the large language models. It's not sentient, but it certainly elicits emotions in us that run the gamut from amazement to excitement to skepticism, dread, worry. When we encounter AI and interact with it, it's never a neutral event. It's always some sort of emotional event. And you start to ask the question, why is that the case? How does this technology work in a way that can elicit those kinds of emotions in us? And there's a term in the industry that's referred to as the black box. And basically what that means is that what goes on in these algorithms, what goes on in the black box. So what we're going to do in this session is we're going to unwrap and open the black box and explore a little bit how AI works from a sort of a technical point of view, but not in real depth. But I'll give you a clue. AI is simply mathematics, nothing more, nothing less. That's all it is. Now, I get the idea that that very term tends to elicit some anxiety in people, but I can assure you we are not going to be solving differential equations or doing regressions by hand or anything like that. But we are going to be talking in a very general sense about the technology. And I want you to kind of think about this. There's really one objective with these algorithms, the way they're configured and the way they're designed. And the objective of an algorithm in AI space is really to make a prediction. That's all it is. It's simply using data of different types, numbers, words, images to make a prediction. And that's what an algorithm does. It has a set of instructions that's designed to make a prediction. So that's what we're talking about. The question you could ask is, why do you care? Why do we care to even know about the technology in some depth? And first of all, education in this space goes a long way. Some basic foundational understanding of it is really important to walk away with. And that's one of our objectives in this. Secondly, knowing some important questions to ask when you encounter AI in the market or in your practice or otherwise is really important because you can be led astray very quickly. So we're going to talk about some of the most important questions, like the appropriate use of artificial intelligence. How was it developed? How was it trained? Is the training data good? Is it biased? You know, some of those risky applications that impact real people can be catastrophic if the data is inappropriate. And I will tell you this, that the platforms, the algorithms, the way they're configured and all that is obviously critical. But even more critical is the quality of the data that's used to train them. And we're going to talk about that. And Rodney will go into detail about some of the ethical risks in that space. So that's secondly. And thirdly, there are some significant limitations with AI technology that we're going to talk about. It tends to be this sort of, like I said, magical, technology. And to an extent, it is some of that. But there are some significant limitations that need to be brought forward. And then most importantly, for the audience, I think, in the group, is that what is the value of this to us as consulting psychologists? Whether you use it in your practice or you consult on it, what's the real value of knowing about how this technology works and some of the limitations? So we'll talk about that. So what's next? I do want to offer this though. If you'd like to get a head start on some of the technology um, capabilities, and you'd like to have a reading list, drop me a note. I'll be glad to send you a reading list that you can get started with. And if not, that's fine. Just show up with a healthy dose of intellectual curiosity, and we'll go from there. So that's my introduction, Rodney. I think it's your turn.
So, why should you come to this workshop? This is a question you might ask. And I think that all of us here on this presentation today and then in Austin in a few weeks um, have immersed ourselves with some of the issues around AI. And one thing I can suggest to you is, first of all, AI is not new, but AI on steroids is new. And quite frankly, I don't think either as a consulting psychologist, a consultant, or an informed citizen that you can afford not to be knowledgeable about what AI is all about, because it is rapidly changing many, if not most things, and we have all been using it consciously or in our day-to-day lives. What I think we would all agree is that there is a huge amount positive that has happened with the advent of AI, and that is a good thing. There are things that we now do with AI that would not otherwise get done or not otherwise get done efficiently. But there's a dark side also. And one of the things that I'll be talking about are some of the ethical and to some extent legal issues that arise when you, as a consultant or a consulting psychologist, get involved in making use of. There are real issues about haves and have nots when it comes to artificial intelligence, both organizations, individuals, and groups of people. There are also bad things that AI can do, and they include things in our space, such as in personnel selection, where AI may exacerbate bias rather than make it better. So those are some of the things that we're going to get into in my segment of the workshop. And we want to talk not just about the legal and ethical issues, potential bad things that can happen, but also what you can do to understand the possibility of those and try to prevent them or address them um, before they become problematic in your practices. So, Joni, what's your part?
Well, my part is coming in with really applying AI to consulting. So obviously with the limitations and the ethical approach that you two are talking about, we're going to actually be very applied in this workshop. The second half of the workshop is essentially figuring out how you as a participant might want to bring AI into your consulting practice. And so I'll start out giving some real good examples of how consultants are using AI and clients as well, both in a practical sort of a business sense as well as in the consulting and in psychology sense. And then we will spend some time working through how you might actually go about bringing this into your practice. And it's going to be a great opportunity to both give it some thought and make some progress to putting it into your own practice, as well as hearing from others in the room about how they're considering this and going through it. So be prepared to both learn and put this into play for your own consulting. No commitment necessary to actually do anything, but just to think through if you were. So that's basically what we'll be doing. It should be hands-on, interactive, and fun as well. And let's just say it's a final touch here, back to my host role of the SCP podcast, that the conference is coming up at the beginning of February. It's the first, that's when the workshops are. And we will be hosting our workshop in the morning, Thursday morning. And go to the website, the SCP website, to register. And we'll have all that logistical information included with the podcast. So thanks to our guests. Thank you, Larry, and thank you, Rodney. And we look forward to seeing you there. Feel free to reach out to any of us ahead of time if you have questions or would like some reading.
Very good. Hope to see you in Austin.
Thank you.